Anyway, just to settle into our meditation, just our meditation posture. And you can have either your feet down on the ground, and if you do, make sure they're parallel and with a cushion underneath, or just in the usual cross-legged position, with perhaps your knees propped up with cushions. Because you know, if your hips are tight, the knees tend to take the strain. So whatever way you can protect your knees, because when you get older, you'll learn all about how you didn't protect them when you were younger. So it's really good to take care of your knees, not to force them. So there's nothing wrong with putting a couple of cushions underneath the knees, just to take care of them. And your sit bones have something underneath them. Make sure you're sitting on something firm and not like a sinky down couch, which I'm kind of sitting on, but something firm underneath you. And the shoulders are over the hips, and the ears aligned with the shoulders, and the hands in the meditation mudra. And let's just imagine our spine is a string of pearls of light. Just imagine that lengthening. Someone is behind you or above you, very gently lengthening your spine. Head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. And let's just bring our awareness to the scalp, the top of the head, the crown. Relax the crown and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks. And think about relaxing your nostrils. We hold a lot of tension in our nose. Relax the mouth. Let's bring our attention to the back of the head and relax the scalp and the ears, the inner ear, the jaw, back of the neck, the shoulders, upper thoracic in between your shoulder blades, and the throat, the chest, the belly, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers, legs, the feet and the toes. Let's just bring our mind to the breath, breathing in. Notice the sensation of the cool air as you're breathing in, slightly warmer air as you're breathing out. If there are any sounds at all in your environment, just allow them to be there, just gently in the background. Try not to have your mind run off to investigate or to try and push the sounds away. And notice whatever is arising and abiding and falling in your mind, thoughts. Try not to engage with your thoughts or follow along a story. Just bring the mind back to the breath as we just settle in to this evening's purification practice. Just leave the events of today and the events of tomorrow outside, just for a moment. And focus on yourself. By focusing on yourself and healing yourself, you are then going to be more available others. So let's bring to mind all the people of our life, people we really love. Some of them are family members, some of them are family members who are not necessarily blood relatives. They're just friends we met along the way who feel like family. And then there's the ones who perhaps we would prefer not to have in our life, that we maybe need a break from. We label them enemy. And then there's the strangers. So just again to remind ourselves, because I forget this myself every single day, they're all equal actually. And perhaps we could try practicing holding them in our heart equally, because they're all equally want happiness, do not want suffering, and have this unbelievable capacity for enlightenment. And it's hard to imagine that the ones we don't like have the same capacity and the same brilliance and the same gifts as the ones that we love. So let's just bring to mind something that we have done, perhaps this week, last week, today, that was harmful to another being, another living, breathing, human, animal, insect, and develop a sense of regret, not guilt, regret, taking responsibility and regretting based on the logic of karma. Given that everything we experience is due to our past karma, having harmed another, we are necessarily going to experience suffering in the future. So the logic, therefore, of this practice tonight is to try and get rid of those karmic seeds that we've planted before they actually ripen into suffering. And we never know when they're going to ripen. This is the thing with karma. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And we regret also our delusions. That's attachment and anger, jealousy and bitterness and grudges, and all this kind of weird feelings we have, negative feelings that we have towards ourselves and others. They're so harmful. And these delusions are what cause us to be harming others. And just think, I'm just really sick of all this. Sick of it. So think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So we take refuge. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify ourselves, that we can heal ourselves. So we're not asking Vajrasattva for forgiveness. It's not what we're doing here. We are the ones who are going to be doing the work. We're taking responsibility. We're doing the work ourselves. We're just requesting the methods. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can imagine this is the mind of your guru, your lama, your teacher, trusted mentor, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of this blissful, radiant, brilliant white light. And he's sitting in a cross-legged position on a lotus, on a moon cushion, on a lotus. There's this beautiful, radiant face, peaceful. His eyes are long and full of love and compassion for you, all the people of your life, and by extension, all sentient beings. He has this sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. He's wearing this 5-pointed crown encrusted with jewels. He's wearing earrings, beautiful earrings made of precious jewels and necklaces, and there is jewels around his waist, around his arms, around his wrists and ankles, all made of sparkling precious jewels, and it's all glistening in the light, radiating light. You can imagine also his clothes are silken robes in the royal Indian style, just kind of floating in the wind, also made of light. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I am enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So just this little reminder about compassion and developing compassion. We need to rely upon other beings in order to develop compassion. So let's think about the beings that we have harmed, and then also the beings who have harmed us. And remember to develop compassion for them, because those beings, the ones who have harmed us, will be suffering sometime down the track as a result of the harm that they've done to you. So just make a strong aspiration to do this practice for the sake of all these sentient beings, thinking I must purify for their sake. So next we come to the power of the remedy, and this is taking the medicine, actually. It's the medicine, doing the practice. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar. And it's almost like coming out of a hose, out of a shower head, Niagara Falls, or your favorite waterfall. If you have a walk with a waterfall, imagine standing underneath it. This kind of power, this nectar is just pouring into you, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you and forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, and just feel completely purified as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than be of benefit to others now with your body. So next is a purification of the speech. And Guru Vajrasattva, again, very happily sends this powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and enters you quite forcefully, the crown of your head, and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. It just pours into you and pours out of the top until it overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the lying and the talking about others behind their back and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dura Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dura Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dura Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. So really rejoice and really imagine that it has been purified. Just try and think this has actually happened. And imagine that it's not possible that you could do anything other than be of benefit to others with your speech. So the next is the purification of the mind. And Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of laser light, this time from his heart chakra, and it kind of bends around, it arcs around, sort of in a nice flowing motion, and pours into you through your crown chakra and fills your entire being. So imagine your being is filled with this powerful light. And you can imagine that the moment it hits your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and neediness and anger and bitterness and grudges and all these kind of things we have that go heavy emotions, wanting to harm others, wanting to get back at others, neediness, grasping, hanging on to things, all instantly dispelled the moment this light touches your heart. Just like walking into a room and switching on a light. The darkness is gone. As you recite the mantra, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, finished. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next, and this is the final mantra, we purify the imprints in our mind of the negativity of the body, speech and mind. So you can imagine the previous 3 visualizations of the body, speech and mind, if you wish, or just imagine light and nectar, whatever's easiest for you. And imagine it's pouring from Guru Vajrasattva's heart. He's happily sending it, pours into you through your crown, fills you completely, and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. So your mind is sparkling clean as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supakaya mebawa Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sudam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabhawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa. Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempe yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabhawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa. Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempe yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabhawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita. Duda mebawa sutokaya mebawa supokaya mebawa. Anarakta mebawa sawasiti mempe yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabhawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So now feel you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. How amazing. So all there's room for in your heart now is peace and love, compassion, and even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next is the power of resolve. And this is the fourth step in the purification process. And it's really critical that we just start to make decisions to not harm others. And that perhaps if we have harmed others, maybe we can think about how to make amends. And how not to continue to harm others in the same way. So if we have a habit of a particular way in which we tend to harm others, maybe we use people. What kind of harmful? And just think of something that you would like to work on tonight, something in particular. Maybe the body or the speech or the mind. And just think that for 30 seconds or for 2 days, 1 day, 3 hours, I will refrain from doing this thing, and to remind yourself, oh yes, this is what I was doing. This is what I was refraining from today, tonight. Before you put your head on the pillow tonight, remind yourself of what it is you're wanting to refrain from at the moment, this one thing that you'd like to work on. And just make a decision. I'm gonna knock this one out of the park. I'm gonna do it easy, no problem. And it becomes this insurmountable thing that we think that we just have to accept because either this is just what our family does, or it's in my genes, or I've just been doing it so long, there's no way I can stop doing this. Step by step, you'll notice you're starting to do these things less and less. This is fantastic. Everybody benefits, mostly you. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. Excuse me. LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. And next, let's meditate on the emptiness with the 3 circles. Lama Zopa Rinpoche recommends this one. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So place your mind in that emptiness for a little while. So let's just think for a moment of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And let's just imagine that perhaps the way things appear to us aren't necessarily the way they exist. Just think, oh, perhaps, just out of curiosity, maybe follow that line of thinking. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created by doing this purification to all living beings, thinking, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And Coral, I didn't ask